The Antarctic Ice Wall. What if Antarctica isn't a continent, but a wall? A frozen barrier stretching endlessly across the edge of the world. What if the maps we grew up with are incomplete? What if satellite images show only what we're allowed to see? And what if, beyond the endless white horizon, there is something we were never meant to find? For most of human history, Antarctica didn't officially exist. Ancient civilizations imagined the world very differently. Early maps showed vast oceans, strange territories, and sometimes a mysterious southern land labeled Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. It was theoretical, a balancing landmass, a necessary counterweight to the northern continents, but no one had seen it. In the 19th century, a man named Samuel Robotham reignited an idea that would echo far into the future. In his 1893 book Static Astronomy, he argued that Earth was not a globe but a flat plane. In his model, the North Pole sat at the center, and Antarctica was not a continent at the bottom of a sphere. It was an enormous ice wall surrounding the entire world, holding the oceans in place. According to this view, the world was not a spinning ball in space, but a contained system with boundaries, a limit, an edge. At the time, the theory remained on the fringes, but fringe ideas rarely die. They wait. Then came the 20th century. In 1946, shortly after World War II, the United States launched one of the largest Antarctic expeditions ever organized. Operation High, led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd. The mission involved thousands of personnel, ships, and aircraft. Officially, it was a military training exercise and scientific exploration. But to conspiracy theorists, it became something else entirely. Byrd later spoke publicly about flying over vast unexplored regions beyond the South Pole. In interviews, he mentioned territories larger than the United States, hidden beneath ice. While official records describe ice sheets and research operations, alternative interpretations began to grow. Some claimed Byrd encountered areas that did not match official maps. Others suggested the mission ended abruptly, for reasons never fully explained. Operation High Jump became a cornerstone in the ice wall narrative. If Antarctica were merely frozen land, why such massive military involvement? Then, in 1959, 12 nations signed the Antarctic Treaty. The agreement declared Antarctica a demilitarized zone dedicated to scientific research. No new territorial claims. No military bases. No weapon testing. On the surface, it was a landmark moment of international cooperation during the Cold War. But to believers in the ice wall theory, it raised a different question. Why would global superpowers so quickly agree to restrict access to an entire continent? The treaty did not ban tourism or scientific travel, but it limited military presence and heavily regulated activity. Conspiracy communities argue that Antarctica is the only place on Earth governed by such a unified international agreement. To them, this isn't coincidence. It's containment. With the rise of the internet in the early 2000s, the ice wall theory found new life. Forums, video platforms, anonymous discussion boards, all amplify the idea. According to modern versions of the theory, Antarctica is not the bottom of the globe but the perimeter of a flat Earth. Commercial flights, they argue, avoid flying directly over Antarctica. Satellite imagery, they claim, is stitched together and selectively edited. Military patrols allegedly guard the outer boundary to prevent independent exploration. Some versions go even further. They suggest that beyond the ice wall lies additional land, hidden ocean, lost civilizations, or territories that extend far beyond what global maps show. In these narratives, Antarctica is not the end of the world. It is the beginning of something larger. But here's the deeper question. Why does this idea refuse to disappear? Scientifically, Antarctica has been extensively mapped. Satellites orbit the planet continuously. Ice-penetrating radar measures thickness and terrain. Research stations from dozens of countries operate aircraft cross-sections of the continent. GPS systems function based on a spherical Earth model. The physical evidence supporting a globe is measurable, testable, and repeatable. Yet belief in the ice wall persists, because this theory is not only about geography, it is about psychology. Antarctica is remote, hostile, and inaccessible to most humans. Few people will ever stand on its ice. Mystery thrives where direct experience is rare. Humans are drawn to forbidden zones, to edges, to places labeled restricted. Throughout mythology and history, we have imagined boundaries. The edge of the sea, the end of maps, the rim of the world. Ancient cartographers once wrote, "Here be dragons, at the limits of knowledge." The ice wall theory taps into that ancient instinct. The desire to believe there is more land, more secrets, more reality beyond the official version. It also taps into distrust. In an age where governments have concealed operations before, skepticism feels rational to some. If secrets have existed in history, why not this one? And once that question is planted, it grows. But extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and to this day, there is no verified, measurable proof of a literal ice wall encircling the Earth. No satellite anomaly, no physical expedition reaching an edge, no credible documentation of a boundary beyond the continent itself. And yet, imagine standing in Antarctica, endless white in every direction, no cities, no borders, just horizon. Wind, silence. If you walked long enough, would you feel like you were approaching the edge of something? Or would you simply be walking across a continent we already understand? The power of the ice wall theory is not in its evidence, but in its imagery. A towering wall of ice holding back unknown oceans. A guarded perimeter hiding forbidden territory. A final boundary humanity has not crossed. If there truly were an edge to the world, would it look like a wall of ice? And if there was something beyond it, would you want to know? Blackness, wind, silence.